James Clapper, who's the director of national intelligence, I don't think he's the one with the Star Trek bridge, but I could be wrong. I don't think he is. He basically said, disclosing or confirming further details about these activities could seriously undermine an important tool, metadata collection and analysis for tracking possible terrorist plots, thus helping foreign adversaries evade detection. What happened to good old-fashioned police work? Does it just not exist anymore?
Right, and I think that's the slippery slope, right? If you turn your nation into a police state to prevent terrorist attacks, and the basis of those attacks are because they hate your freedoms, are you kind of letting them win at that point?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The terrorists won on September 11th and afterward because we became a nation of fear. Despite admonitions of go out and live your life as usual, we became, at least the East Coast, we became fearful because we really just didn't understand the background and the backstory of how it all came to be. But talking about metadata, people act like this stuff is no big deal, but I'm going to tell you something. Somebody can go through your trash can and learn a lot about you in a week. I mean, a lot about you in a week, and that's just garbage. I mean, your receipts, idle things that you get rid of. I mean, it wouldn't be hard. Hell, they go through your Twitter feed at this point. We unwittingly say a lot of things about ourselves. Just on a simple thing like a Twitter feed, or if they can get into your Facebook, but Twitter seems a little more wide open to me. If they're tracking your email, that is just tons of stuff. It's all time-stamped, it's all put together, and it doesn't take much to assign an identifying number to an individual, in quotes, and, suspect one, and start compiling and putting all this together and setting it up, building it the way they want it to look. It's very manipulative, and that is worrisome.
That's incredibly worrisome, and it's because what I'm worried about too, and I completely agree with you, is using that data to intimidate and silence dissenters and those in the minority opinion. And I used to feel so tinfoil hat talking about those types of things in that way. But then you watch the IRS scandal. Yeah. And you watch people targeting conservative groups because of their political opinions. And then you realize it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility that there could be some huge federal agency that has unchecked discretionary power that abuses that power to advance a political agenda.
Well, not only that,
it can happen because it just happened.
And not only that, you look at this story from the Berliner Zeitung, or Zeitung, however you pronounce it, where Jacob Appelbaum, who's apparently an ally of Snowden, said that when he returned, he went away for an appointment and installed 4 alarm systems in my apartment. What does that say? First off, about how people are worried there, and then all of a sudden, he comes back, and 3 of them had been turned off. The 4th, however, had registered that somebody was in his flat, although I'm the only one with a key. Some of my effects, the positions of which I carefully note, were indeed askew. My computers had been turned on and off. What does that say?
That we're justified in our paranoia.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says that it makes me want to repeat all the expletives I said between 10 o'clock and 10:06.
Hey, good news. They got a plethora of pills for this. Plethora. The majority of the country is on some sort of medication. They're pushing it left and right. I mean...
Yeah, and the government will know all about that, too, once you're in the huge Obamacare database.
I was getting ready to say that is the next...
And then you won't be able to buy a gun.
Yeah. Well, speaking of... By the way...
The next connection
is... What does this say about where the Obama administration really cares about? Is that, according to the Daily Mail from earlier this week, apparently he hijacked a tech executive meeting to make a, quote, PR pitch on the Obamacare website instead of dealing with NSA. I mean, what does that say?
I think it says that there is frantic triage happening in the technology department, especially within the executive branch. Because if you look at healthcare.gov, I can understand why he's prioritizing that because it's not secure.
Yeah.
There are internet security experts saying when you put your private information into that system, they didn't even include security as an afterthought. It wasn't in the plans anywhere at all. Like I mean, it's baffling. It's baffling because especially, I mean, in this day and age, you would think that like a middle schooler could design a more secure website.
I could make a better website, and I'm a tech idiot.
I mean, in 3 years, nobody brought up security as a priority when people are entering their most personal information into a website. How does that not come up?
I kind of wonder if they really cared about security at all. If they're just like, hey, we'll Prairie Dog, maybe you're right. Maybe me saying tinfoil hat, maybe I'm putting my tinfoil hat on, and that means that Ron Paul is going to magically appear. But
so funny,
the way that they ignored this, just kind of, I don't know.
Y'all, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
It is embarrassing. This is the United States of America. We are the home of Amazon.com, eBay, and Twitter, for crying out loud, and Facebook. These websites work, but our government builds. I don't even going to call it a website.
But I kind of love that though, because I think that's a very important point to make, and I'm glad that there are millennials out there that are now asking the question of whether they're looking beyond whether or not we should be doing all of these feel-good things in the public sector rather than the private sector. And now they're asking, well, can government get it done? Maybe government can't get it done after all. Maybe we should be counting on all of these highly functioning entrepreneurs in the private sector to get it done.
Yeah, but
I love that there is that skepticism now of like, yeah, that's a great idea in theory, but can government actually do it? I think that's a huge opportunity for us.
But we're also about world posturing and our reputation and how we appear to the rest of the world. And right now, the rest of the world gets to add this to the long, long list of, wow, look at America, point and laugh.
Right.
Because and I find it embarrassing. I really do. I hate Obamacare. I hated everything about it. I take delight in every day tweeting a particular senator that's up for re-election next year. Every day I taunt him. Every day. You didn't read it. You didn't read it. You didn't even read it. And you told your constituency for us.
Oh yeah. But
so,
on the
really
international front, I think we have a 2-word shield in terms of PR, and it's Rob Ford. And I feel like we're a disaster, but man, that man is like the Globe's Miley Cyrus right now.
Rob Ford, the gift you can't return. He's the gift you cannot return. He is amazing.
Now I understand Justin Bieber. I understand it now.
I forgot he's Canadian.
I get it.
I forgot he's Canadian. We need to take a really quick break, and when we come back, we will talk the Ryan Murray budget, but I need to explain an inside joke that's going on in the chat room for people who don't quite understand it. This is Saturday Night Cigar Lounge here on Vigilant Liberty Radio. I'm your host, Taylor. We will be right back.
We want to welcome Michael Moore to Occupy Wall Street. I'm so impressed by what I'm seeing here.
How much of people's income do you, Michael Moore, want the government to confiscate?
Probably twice what we're paying right now.
It's not envy, it's war.
Where's the rage? Where's the uprising?
Storm the doors of the New York Stock Exchange.
It is a class war.
Storm the doors of the New York Stock Exchange.
if the wealthy paid their fair share.
For a documentary filmmaker, I do really well. I'm very blessed.
And the rich thought poverty was bad.
I do well.
They get rid of it.
What pure? There's nothing pure about capitalism.
And they know what's coming on Wall Street.
We're seeing the end of capitalism. And I say good riddance.
He is one of my favorite capitalists. Yeah, I want to give him a hug.
Yes, Michael Moore is one of our favorite capitalists. As Andrew Breitbart said, that obviously was Hugging More from our friends over at FTR Radio. HuggingMore.com is where you can go to donate, see more information on it. This is Vigilant Liberty Radio and Saturday Night Cigar Lounge. I'm your host, Taylor. Jackie Bodner from Freedom Works is here, as is Shannon Poe. And hey, guys, did you know that I'm now part of the 1%?
Ooh.
It's not just me. Our good friend Sean Vinkman is also part of the 1%. We hit it big last night on Grand Theft Auto Online.
Ooh.
So, we are now part of the 1%. That's what happens when somebody puts a $2 billion bounty on two separate people.
I don't know why, but that just made me think of like Thurston Howell III trying to play Grand Theft Auto. And I think that may be my favorite random thought that I've had in a long time.
We used to go around. Sean would be going around in a hoodie. His character would be going around in a hoodie. I'd be going around in shorts and a t-shirt, and I'd have these tattoos all showing on my arms and legs. Yeah, now we're walking around in suits.
Nice. Nice.
So, yes, we are the 1%, which means that Michael Moore is probably coming for us at some point. Maybe.
Or he's just coming to welcome you into the club, because he's one of those too.
Yes, that too.
We should really put him and Rob Ford in a room together and just see how that goes.
Who eats the other first?
Yes.
Just put like a bottle of scotch on a table.
We're going full on Hunger Games with this. Hell yes.
Avoiding the outrage machine as much as possible here on Vigilant Liberty Radio.
I am so excited for that documentary, by the way.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Yeah, I'm super pumped.
I hope that there is a picture. I really want there to be a picture of fingers with the mohawk regrown fingers.
Yes.
Yes.
Running up to Michael Moore and just giving him a big hug. Just giving him a hug, not letting go for like, I don't know, the awkward like 20 seconds.
And he closes his eyes.
Huh?
One of the weird hugs where he just like closes his eyes and he's like, "Bring it in, man."
Exactly. And then he goes, "That was for Andrew Breitbart."
That would be amazing.
Yes. Just to see the reaction. That would be a bunch of drama. That would be a bunch of drama that I would love to see. Now, something that's apparently being called not drama at all is this budget that has been passed. That's passed and has been signed. Apparently, there's going to be over $1 trillion in spending for 2014 and $1 trillion for 2015. Avoiding stopgap bills that put the government on autopilot, said Senator Barbara Mikulski, who sits at the head of the Appropriations. What's wrong with putting the government on autopilot?
What's
Nothing
wrong
for
with
me.
putting the government on autopilot?
Yeah.
I have problems with the government rolling back the only significant spending reforms that we've had throughout the entire Obama administration.